So them farmers really thought we was coming to get in them fields? Is that what I'm reading? Y'all really thought we was coming to get in those fields? It's funny when black people say stuff like over a year ago when we said that Donald Trump specifically saying that immigrants were coming over here to steal black jobs meant that him deporting them was supposed to open the door for us to get back in the fields. Of course, immediately, most people said, y'all are reaching. Now here we are. They're literally on Twitter, all over social media, complaining about the fact that we did not come into those fields. I get the unemployment rate is rising rapidly in the black community. I believe for us, it's about 7% compared to about 4.5% for just about any other demographic. But that also means that 93% of us have jobs. 93% of us are working. And 93% of us were never coming out into those fields to pick your stupid crops. Y'all are supposed to be the pick them up by their bootstraps people, right? Y'all are always the ones talking about earn this, that, hard work, this, that. But then y'all never want to do your own damn work. Y'all brought us over here, all right? We spent hundreds of years doing that stuff for free. We spent another 100 years after that with Jim Crow rights. We fought, bled, died, protested, did everything we possibly could to gain the rights that we have now. We live in this country, we work, we own businesses. We are not going back to your fields. Can y'all just let that shit go? Like, can y'all let it go? It ain't gonna happen. And there's nothing you're gonna do to make it happen. You don't got the numbers. You don't have the manpower. We're not going back. The experiment failed, okay? And now guess what's happening? Food is rotting in the ground because y'all really thought we was coming back out there.
So y'all pushed out immigrant labor, and now y'all surprised nobody wants to pick blueberries for $11 an hour, 9 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week? Really? So let's get this straight. They're offering $11 an hour to work 9 to 10 hour days, 7 days a week, no days off, no benefits, and no protections. So immigrants weren't stealing American jobs. They were doing the jobs that most Americans can't or won't do. So now we got a labor shortage, and the same people who were whining about illegal immigration are now whining about food still is so expensive. Well, that's going to happen when you have a labor shortage. This is what happens when policy is led by fear instead of facts. Would you work 70 hours a week for $11 an hour to pick blueberries in a field? Let's talk about it and tag somebody who thinks that immigrant labor is a problem. We all want to talk about it.
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was going to be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this guy made a video, and I saved it to my favorite, so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be Maga on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live, and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now, you got to be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you gonna see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm, because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again. Because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president. We had a black vice president. We got black senators. We got black congressmen. We got black CEOs. We got black doctors. We got black nurses. We got black psychiatrists. We got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was going to be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I'll like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs. Because they don't think we got good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it.
So basically, the black jobs was actually the jobs that the illegal immigrants was working, getting underpaid for. And that's what the fuck Trump plan was the whole goddamn time, was to get us back into these warehouses and in these fields picking strawberries and shit for little pay. I just came across a video that actually brought it all to me and made it make sense. And that's exactly what the fuck it is. When he say a black job, those are the jobs that he's talking about. Those illegal immigrants came over here, or even immigrants came over here, and they worked their ass off just for that little pay, which I don't feel that that's right. But he knew that no black person was going to go over there and do all that extra work in this economy and the last economy and get paid that little ass shit. So I just want all my black people to understand, and I want all my black people to know, even if those jobs are available, those jobs are not for you. And if we come over here trying to pick up the slack and pick up where everybody else pick up where they left off, baby, this country ain't gonna do shit but turn us back into fucking slaves. And I'll be damned if I be a motherfucking slave. If that job didn't have open positions when them illegal immigrants was here working them, they ain't got none now.
Trump expected black people to fill in those positions that the illegal immigrants or the immigrants were doing in the fields. I can tell you, Mr. President, that is not fucking happening. We are not going back in the field. You could get that out your mind. You and all your Republican buddies, it's not happening. So you need to come up with a better solution for your shortage of staff. You can't pay us enough. We've been there. We've done that. Not happening. You need to figure out how to work out a path to citizenship for all these hardworking immigrants that do want to work in this country. Because there are lots of people that comes into this country that honestly want to work. Not all immigrants that's here, whether they're here legal or illegally, want to commit crime or do commit crime. Statistically proven, you have more homegrown assault on this country than anything else. Mass shooting for one. You understand? So you need to figure out something. But black people, we're not. We're not the solution to that. We're not going back. And I believe if for some reason that was ever attempted, you're going to have a fight on your hands. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.
Hey, y'all, just coming through right quick. Listen, your president on something hot, y'all. He actually thought black people were going to go out there and farm the land. Now he figured he better get those that he deported back over here so that they can work the field. Black people ain't doing no stuff like that.
Wait, you mean to tell me Americans don't want to pick lettuce for $2 an hour? No. Now the farmers are crying because they can't find any workers. Ain't that something? After you pushed out all of the immigrant workers who actually did the job, now you're standing around wondering why Chet and Kaylee won't come pick your cabbage in 100-degree weather for $4.75 and a Capri Sun? Y'all really thought folks were going to jump at the chance to break their backs for pennies on a dollar. But you know what's even funnier, y'all? Some of these farmers say the American workers they do get, they don't even last the whole damn day. One guy said somebody walked off by lunch, and honestly, I support it. Listen, I wouldn't be out there picking strawberries and fighting bees and being dehydrated just so that farmer could sell those strawberries for $12.99 a box at Whole Foods. Negative. See, they've been telling you this lie for years. They took our jobs. Nah, Americans, you didn't want those jobs. You just didn't want them to have the jobs either. Now look at you, a field full of crops and not a soul to pick them. Next time, think twice before turning labor into a culture war. Because now It's just you and your own damn tomatoes.
Trump is doing everything in his power to bait black people, and it's only getting worse because black people aren't falling for anything at all right now. To the point where now you're just about to deploy the National Guard in Washington, D.C., where there's a high black population, especially a high black homeless population, because you want black people in the streets protesting so you can enact martial law. We all know it. We all know it. Because the thing is, when white people have been protesting, and all of these protests have been so civil, none of them have even been streamed on TV because they're not violent. They don't get violent with white people. But they have no problem getting violent with black people. And they know if they can get black people out to protest and to fight for our rights yet again, they can enact martial law and they can throw us all in jail if we ever think of rebelling. And I'm not living in a military city. No offense, but I don't respect any authority at all whatsoever. That's my issue. I'm also not afraid of cops. I'm not afraid of the military. I've had cops with guns in my faces. I've had cops with giant horses and guns in my faces while I protested before. I will have a traffic stop and there will be multiple cops that get out for me at a traffic stop. And I've never been scared of y'all, because the thing is, y'all get off on people being scared. That's the only way y'all can't get me. Like, none of you bitches scare me. Y'all are like my little brother with his toy gun. Like, oh my god, you're gonna get me. Like, quit playing with your food and just do what you want to do. But everybody else is just a chess piece. Everybody else is. The only group that he's actually after is black people. That's why he's deporting Latinos, because who's gonna work in the fields now? With black female unemployment rate reaching an all-time high. That's why he's cutting Medicaid. That's why you're trying to regulate food stamps. That's why you cut the weather service. That's why you cut the only accessible piece of media to every single child in the country, poor and rich. He literally said, he was like, they were on a farm and he was talking about farmer responsibility, as in people could live on these farms with these farmers and they could just build property on the land and people could live here and work on the fields. Does that not sound familiar? Make America Great Again is bringing back slavery, bringing back black people in shackles. That's all it is. That's literally everything. And I think he knows that black people aren't falling for it, which is why he's getting more intense and more aggressive with his tactics. Because black people aren't falling for anything right now. We're not protesting. We're not fighting. We're just minding our business. So, good luck.
So those farmers really thought black people was going to be back on them farms. Let's talk about it. You know what? At this point, we are allowing the top 1% to do what they do to us, because I don't think nobody in the United States should be offering anybody $11 an hour, 7 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day. And, you know, the crazy thing is, black people been saying that the only reason why the United States want immigrants here, illegals, is because of cheap labor. And everybody said we were hating because we wasn't hard workers and we were lying and we were jealous. Right there just proves what they were paying, and probably lower, for these undocumented immigrants. America thrives off criminal activity, drugs, and trafficking. We don't have any good minerals and stuff like Africa. So crime helped run this country. You know, how can you become a trillionaire in the United States? Easy. Take your employees' pay. You know, if you know, that CEO from Boeing, if you can get a 45% raise annually, and your lower level employees, 1%, that's how you become a billionaire in the United States. You steal. We have allowed these people to rob us every day, and we do nothing about it. That's why I keep saying that the only way you can stop this type of people is by hurting their pockets. They don't care about the marching. And it's funny how we've had another march, I think, this week in D.C., and that was also not covered. So see, they're not covering the marches where there's white, Mexicans, and all that. They only want to cover the ones with black people so they can continue to push the narrative that black people are the most violent people in the world. And we know by now it's not true. Some of y'all are in denial about it, but it's not true. The people that are in control are doing this, and they want us to purge each other. I think it's absolutely insane that, with these farmers, why didn't they reach out to their family members in different states? Hey, I need workers on our farm. Why not call your family? Why not put something online and just say white workers on the farms? Why? I thought that we all were slaves at some point, right? So why are you just saying black people come back to the farms? It's crazy because, like I said, we talk about that racism. You got people saying, oh, black people just making it up. And it's clear as day is that everything that's going on was strategic. They created this whole bad economy because they seen black people leaving the country. They seen black people creating business. They seen black people becoming millionaires due to streaming. And so this is a way to get people back in their place. Nobody wants to work in the system anymore, and they saw that. They saw people not wanting to go into those offices with toxic work environments. They saw all that. And so to hurt the people, we're going to make them suffer financially. We're going to lay them off. We're not going to allow them to have jobs for the next 3 to 4 months. We're going to increase everything around them so they'll be begging us to get back into the offices. See, the real estate company lost a lot of money when those commercial buildings became vacant. And I keep saying, it's funny how when everybody that was remote went home after COVID, all the LG&E and water went up. So you can't tell me that everybody is working together at the top. And the farmers got shitted on because what they're trying to do to them is really take their land. They don't want nobody to be able to feed themselves. They don't want nobody to live off the land. In my opinion, United States is really a prison, a floating prison. So I don't know, but the farmers, good luck. And like I said, it looks like they about to take their land. That's what it's looking like to me. A land grab, just like they did a land grab with those fires, just like they doing a land grab with these floods. When the insurance want to drop you, this is all because they do not want us to own anything. And this is why I say, why are we still allowing the top 1% to do the stuff that they doing?
So I know I was talking about, the Latino vote before, the Viva vote for Donald Trump. Okay, well, let's get on to the white folks, the white farmers. So word is out now that the white farmers voted for Donald Trump because they thought they were going to get black Americans in the fields. Because they also thought black folks did not have jobs. So when we put this all together, somehow the white farmers were convinced that black folks don't have jobs. We don't work. we don't work. And so they voted for Donald Trump because they thought, okay, he gonna send them in the fields. So Donald Trump and them, with their whole Project 2025, said, okay, so we got to make this happen. So we got to cut these DEI stuff, all this DEI stuff, to put black Americans out of work. When in reality, They put a bunch of white folk out of work just to get black folks out of work. And so all these cuts that are happening are to try and harm black Americans so much till they think that we're going to go into the fields. Now, when you think about that, that makes you double back and see why they want the Latinos out. Because the Latinos, right, to them, they are reproducing entirely too fast, okay? And so they're like, we got to get them out of here because black Americans don't reproduce as fast as the Latinos. And so if we could get them out, then the black Americans can take their place in the field. This is for real. And so now you double back to the black jobs. They're taking your job. Yes, you got to double back to what he said. They're taking black jobs, y'all. Like, they have all this down. Like, they have all this whole circle. So now let's go back to the farmers if you're still with me, okay? Because the white farmers, that's what they believed was going to happen. So if y'all got all that straight, this is a message to the white farmers. The last thing you want is for black Americans to be in your fields. Don't let the devil fool you. As a matter of fact, you might want to let the devil fool you to see what's going to happen. Well, I'm trying to tell you, the last thing you ever going to want is black Americans in your fields. Now, I'm going to let you fill in the blank on that one. And this goes to show that they will go to any lengths. Remember I said that, first of all, we had the Latinos, some Latinos, not all of them, just them Cuban ones, talk about you're next, right? To black Americans. So they thought we was immigrants, okay? And so now we have the white farmers who are still living in the 1700s, thinking back to glory days, quote unquote. They thought with their vote, we were going to the fields. So you got one group thinking they gonna kick us out of here, and you got another group of people thinking that we going to the fields. Now this right here is a real mental problem because people are literally stuck. I'm telling y'all, people are stuck in the 1700s when they think about black Americans, okay? I'm telling you, their thought process, they sit around probably campgrounds and picnics and stuff and talk about how can we make this happen? That was their heyday. I'm telling you, when that freaking plantation house burned down in Louisiana, I think, right? That was their heyday. Now, I'm trying to say that was their heyday. When that plantation house down in Louisiana got torched, okay? I'm telling you, that broke them. But I just want to, I want to teach them a little bit more history if I have your attention, right? If I have your attention, right? This is some history that a lot of people don't know, okay? But y'all didn't know black Americans had white servants? Y'all ain't know that? I mean, it wasn't widespread or anything like that, but we had white servants. Yeah, and they wanted to be our servants because they needed work. They were coming over from Europe. Yeah, and they were docile too. Yeah, they were docile. And black Americans, the aristocrats. The wealthy ones, because they were wealthy ones, okay? They had white servants. So I don't know if y'all ever see them pictures. Let me find a picture. I couldn't find a picture. I wasn't gonna go back and try to find a picture. But if you can watch videos, you'll be able to find a picture of possibly some black people in the horse-drawn carriages. And there may be someone white as the horseman or the coach. I'm not sure what you call them, coachman or whatever. Yeah, he worked for them. Yes, indeed. It was a big thing. It was a big, big thing, when everybody began to see in the early 1900s, what? Black Americans, they use the other word. Black Americans have white servants. Yeah, that's a bit of history they don't like to put on TV. And the reason for it is because they were like, okay, they had white people here that they could hire, and they also had black people here that they could hire, but they felt that the white people from Europe were so docile, and they were less expensive. Now, they weren't the only ones who thought that. The wealthy white people thought that too. The wealthy white people were like, yeah, we like the docile immigrant white people. They're a lot cheaper. They take less money. Yeah, so there's a bit of history for you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was like that. Oh yeah, because they knew they would have to pay black Americans a lot more. Lot more. So they always went for the immigrant. And see, when the black Americans hired the white immigrants, they were like really like, yes, we will do it. Yes, we will do it, because they want to stay in America. Here's the difference. Here's the difference though. Black Americans didn't mistreat them. They didn't mistreat them at all. But anyway, that's just a little side note. But yeah, to the white farmers again, this is the last thing you want. The last thing you want is for black Americans to be out in your fields. The last thing you want. Trust and believe. And next time, you know what? Stop basing your vote on how to harm black Americans, because you're going to end up running into that wall that's going to tumble. Okay? That's what's going to end up happening. Stop doing that. All of you do it. Like, all of you. You had the conservative Asian Americans coming through with the whole Ivy League school. We don't want black Americans there. Then you had the I will vote for Donald Trump Cubans, okay, who were thinking, okay, you're next, okay. Okay, we're not immigrants, so we're not next. And now we have the white farmer who thought that they were going to get the black Americans in the fields. And then this is all off of Project 2025. So now look where you got America. Look where you got the United States of America. And a lot of people say, why black Americans think everything revolves around them? No, y'all think everything revolves around us because y'all make everything revolve around us. Y'all stuff coming out.
Back like I never left. I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard this from me. But there's a guy on here, right, that says that he is in the white supremacy Twitter group, right? And that he likes everybody, but he's infiltrating over there so he can bring the tea back to the black community. And he said that the white farmers of America, and I knew that's what FFA, Future Farmers of America, meant when we was growing up, was because they were trying to make America great again that way. He said that they were on there talking about where's all the black people at. We thought they was gonna come back and work on our farmland when we got rid of the immigrants, meaning the Latino people, because they kept saying that the Latino people had all the black jobs. And what Trump meant when he said black jobs was that they were trying to make us go back to slavery. Yeah, how's that working? Yeah. I'm just, like I said, I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard this from me. Let me know in the comment section what you heard about the future farmers of America, or and find out farmers of America, or the whatever you heard about them. Let me know. Alright, bye.
Hey, what's up, my good people? It's your lovely host, Beryl. Thank you all so much for being part of the journey. We are at 169 subscribers. And sorry, it's all because of you. Yes, you. And thank you so much, all the kisses. You, I believe, have watched the video compilation that I shared with you. Yes, Black Americans have refused to work in the field, and Maga farmers are facing harsh Karma. Yes, you've seen it. I know you have something to say. So please feel free to comment and tell me what you think about it. Don't hide your thoughts. Please go ahead and share it on the comment section. I will give you a tiny little bit of a heart. Mwah. And just know I'm reading it, okay? So karma will always circle back. That is what we are being told here from the lessons. Karma will always circle back. And this time it's hitting the farmlands hard. These farmers have gone through shege, let me tell you, they've gone through it all. Hey. So for years, Maga farmers cheered as immigrant labor was pushed out. Okay, borders were tightened and communities got divided because of this. But now the harvest season is here. September was here. The soybeans, you know it, harvest season has was here. And so has the reality to kick in. The fields are empty, the crops are dying, and the very people they once looked down on are saying no more. Hey. So this is not just about a story about work. It's a story about payback season. Payback. And the ghosts of America's past finally catching up in the soil today. So I'm gonna read out what I shared on the notes I just took about this. And across the rural South and Midwest, farmers are crumbling. They're like scrambling. Workers are gone. They don't have labor. Workers are gone. Machinery sits idle. Fields are quiet. And the same farmers who once said, "We do not need them." We do not need them. They're now begging, "Please help us." They're begging for help. And when they turned to Black Americans, the response was very clear, short, and simple. "We've done that before. We are not doing it again." Mhm. We've done that before. We are not doing it again. That was their response. Hey. So, this is not a just, okay, some might call it laziness, but this is not about laziness. It's a legacy. Generations of Black Americans spent centuries bent over in the same fields, not by choice, but by force. Okay? And now, when the system that profited off that labor collapses, the descendants of these workers are refusing to rebuild it for free. They want our help now. So, please, I know you have a lot to say. Share it, share it, share it in the comment section. Share it. So, it's almost poetic. The same voices that said, "Send them back." They're now shouting, "No one wants to work anymore." Hey. So you wanted America to be great again, right? You wanted America first. Well, this is what happens when you forget who actually kept it running. It's 5-4 season. Na, 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 na. So for years, MAGA politicians attacked immigrants. For years, these MAGA politicians have been attacking immigrants and the immigrant labor. They mocked social programs and ignored the real backbone of America. They ignored the real backbone of America's workforce. Now, those decisions are sprouting weeds, literal ones, like true weeds are growing. I'm not lying. Go watch it. So to me, this is not just a political issue anymore. It's called survival, and the karma has no party. So, Black Americans They're not refusing like to work, they're refusing to be used. There's a difference. Black Americans, remember, they're saying they are not refusing to work because they gotta earn something, but they are refusing to be used. Get the point? So their ancestors built this country for free. Their blood in the soil, their sweat on the cotton, and now when someone says, "Come pick my crops," it's not just a job offered to them. It's not. It's a reminder of everything that has been taken away. So when they say no, it's not a rejection. It's redemption. Yeah, it's redemption. Yeah, to me. And in the meantime, MAGA farmers are now realizing something bigger. You can't plant hate and harvest help. You cannot plant hate and harvest help. Racism has always been bad economics, and now it's bad for business. Racism, hate is expensive. It's expensive, my goodness. No labor, no harvest. No harvest, no money. And no one to blame but the movement they supported. They only have to blame the people they voted for. So this is what people mean when they say karma doesn't miss. It hits ding right on the spot. So what do you think, guys? Is this justice? Is this karma? Or is this America finally facing the truth about who really feeds it? Anyway, I still have a lot to say about these farmers. How could you demand Black Americans to come work for you on their farms? Like, they are not white people in the same country. Call your other white colleagues then. These Black Americans are really hurt and saddened by the request you're making. They're not asked. I understand that's a job, but when they were asking for you to support them, vote for the president who would care for everyone in the States. Were you able to help? No. You are just there shouting, "We don't want these immigrants in our country. We don't want them, blah, 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 blah." Mind you, as a farmer, you allow these immigrants in your country to work for you in your farms. They know and help you left, right, and center. Okay? But now is when you see that you don't see a point in it. Like, why? Oh, goodness gracious. I really do not know what to say about this at this point. I don't, because these Black Americans are just thinking of how much blood was poured on those soils back in the centuries. And remember, no reparations up to now. Our ancestors were forcefully kidnapped from Africa, sent to the United States to work as slaves. Slaves, beaten, treated harshly like animals, just suffering and suffering, segregated, racially discriminated, which is still going on sadly till date. And they wanted an America that is equal to everyone. But you didn't listen to either of their pleas. Now that their people have been deported, they're even tired. They're like, you know what? That's your farm, right? It's your family's estate. You should at least know how to learn it or just manage it. Why are you expecting me to come back and help you? Like it's your farm and we're not your slaves. It's far for season. It's far for season. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, to all the farmers out there, I hope that whatever is going on right now is something you've learned the hard way. And the few years remaining with the current president, I hope next time when you're voting a leader, Vote for one who advocates for all policies for either minority or majority groups. Everyone. So please drop your thoughts below. Tell me, hit that button. Tell me what you think. Do you believe history always finds a balance? And is this karma because the fields are empty? Because the fields may be empty, but the story is full of lessons, right? The fields are empty because black farmers are not in it. This is a joke for real. It's a joke. Tell me what you think about this. Share your thoughts in the comment section. We're at 169, and I'm sure by the time you're watching this, we're gonna be at 200. And the next video, 300. The next video, 800. The next video, 1000. The next video, eternity. I appreciate you and take care of yourself. Bye.